Have you ever felt like there's a stronger version of you trapped inside, watching you settle for less than you're capable of? You feel it in those quiet moments. When you know you should take action, but you hesitate. When you promise yourself change, but fall back into the same patterns. When something inside you whispers that you're meant for more, but another voice pulls you back into comfort. That conflict is not weakness. It is proof that there are two versions of you fighting for control. One is built for survival. It wants ease. It wants safety. It avoids pain, risk, and effort. It tells you to wait, to delay, to stay where things feel familiar. It sounds reasonable. It feels comforting, but it keeps you stuck. The other version of you is different. It is sharper, stronger. Focused, it does not care about comfort. It cares about growth. It pushes you to act when you don't feel ready. It demands discipline when your energy is low. It calls you forward even when fear is loud. Right now, that version is quieter, not because it is weak, but because it has been ignored. But here's the truth that most people never understand. The toughest version of yourself is not something you find. It is something you build. And once you start building it, everything in your life begins to change. Imagine waking up with clarity instead of confusion. Imagine acting without hesitation. Imagine becoming someone who does what needs to be done, no matter how they feel. That is power, real power. And it is within your reach, but it requires a shift. You must stop waiting to feel motivated. Motivation is temporary. It fades the moment things get hard. If you rely on it, you will always start strong and finish weak. Instead, you must build identity, because your life follows your identity. If you believe you are someone who quits, you will keep quitting. If you believe you are someone who struggles, you will keep struggling. Your mind will always act in alignment with what it thinks you are. So the question is not, what should I do? The real question is, who am I becoming? Every decision you make answers that question. When you choose comfort over discipline, you reinforce weakness. When you choose action over excuses, you build strength. These are not small choices, they are votes. And those votes create your identity. This is where everything changes. Because once you understand this, you stop negotiating with yourself. You stop asking, do I feel like doing this? You start saying, this is who I am now. That shift is powerful. It means you act even when it's hard, you move even when it's uncomfortable. You stay consistent even when motivation disappears. This is how mental toughness is forged, not in perfect conditions, not when you feel ready, but in moments of resistance. In moments when quitting feels easier, but you decide to continue. And if you stay with this, if you truly commit to building this version of yourself, you will unlock something most people never experience. Control. Control over your actions. Control over your habits. Control over your life. And once you have that, nothing can stop you. And the moment you begin to feel that control, something uncomfortable will happen. Your mind will resist. Your body will push back. A deep, automatic force inside you will try to return you to ease. That resistance is not a sign to stop. It is the exact point where your transformation begins. You have been trained for years to avoid discomfort, to choose the easier path, to escape effort the moment it feels heavy. And now, the second you decide to rise above that pattern, your system reacts. It sends signals of fatigue, doubt, hesitation. It tries to protect you from effort, even when effort is exactly what you need. But understand this clearly. Discomfort is not danger. It is growth in its rawest form. Every time you feel that internal friction, you are standing at a doorway. On one side is your old self, repeating the same habits, staying predictable, staying limited. On the other side is expansion, strength, and evolution. Most people feel that tension and step back. They choose familiarity over growth. You must do the opposite. You must train yourself to move toward discomfort, not away from it. This does not mean chasing pain blindly. It means recognizing that the feeling you avoid is often the exact thing that will make you stronger. That early morning resistance, that mental fatigue during hard work, that urge to quit halfway through, these are not barriers. They are opportunities. And the more you lean into them, the more your mind begins to change. At first, it feels unnatural. Your thoughts will argue. They will give you logical reasons to stop. You can do it later. You've done enough. Take it easy today. These thoughts sound harmless, but they are patterns, and patterns create your life. If you follow them, you stay the same. If you break them, you evolve. So when that voice appears, do not fight it with emotion. Override it with action. Act before your mind convinces you not to. This is where real strength is built. Not in motivation, but in defiance. In choosing discipline when comfort is calling your name. Start small, but stay consistent. Do one thing every day that challenges you. Something that pushes you slightly beyond your current limit. It does not have to be extreme. It just has to be intentional. Because every time you complete that action, you send a message to your brain. You tell it that discomfort does not control you. You prove that resistance is temporary, but your decision is permanent. And slowly, something powerful begins to happen. The same things that once felt difficult start to feel normal. The same resistance that once stopped you starts to lose its power. You begin to realize that the limits you believed in were never real. They were just untested boundaries. This is how you rewire your mind. You stop reacting. You start choosing. And there is a deeper layer to this. You must separate yourself from your feelings. You are not your emotions. You are the one who observes them. You can feel tired and still act. You can feel fear and still move forward. You can feel doubt and still execute with precision. This is control at its highest level. Because now, your life is no longer dictated by temporary states. It is driven by deliberate decisions. And once you reach this point, you begin to understand something most people never will. Discomfort is not something to survive. It is something to use. It becomes your edge. And when discomfort becomes your edge, something even more important must take its place or you will fall back again. That force is discipline. Because without discipline, everything you've started will eventually collapse. Motivation may have brought you here. Emotion may have sparked something inside you. But neither of them will carry you forward when things become repetitive, slow, and heavy. That is where most people break, not at the beginning, but in the middle. When the excitement fades and all that remains is effort. This is the moment that defines you, because discipline is not about intensity. It is about consistency. It is about showing up when nothing inside you wants to. It is about executing without needing to feel inspired. You must understand this clearly. If your actions depend on your mood, your results will always be unstable. Some days you will feel powerful. Other days you will feel weak. And if you follow those fluctuations, your life will move in circles. But discipline removes that chaos. It creates structure where there was confusion. It replaces emotion with decision. It turns action into something automatic. This is how you take control. You stop asking yourself if you feel like doing something. That question has already cost you too much. Instead, you create rules that eliminate the need for that question. You decide in advance who you are and what you do. You work even when you're tired. You focus even when you're distracted. You continue even when progress feels slow. No negotiation. Because every time you negotiate with yourself, you weaken your authority. You teach your mind that your standards are flexible. And once your standards are flexible, your identity becomes unstable. But when you follow through, especially when it's hard, you send a different message. You build trust with yourself. That trust is everything. Because without it, you will always doubt your own promises. You will set goals and secretly know you might not follow through. That doubt kills progress before it even begins. But when you prove to yourself again and again that you do what you say, something powerful happens. You stop relying on hope. You start relying on certainty. You know that if you decide something, it will be done. That is a different level of confidence. It is not loud. It is not emotional. It is quiet, stable, and unshakable. And it comes from repetition. Small actions executed daily without fail. It may feel boring, it may feel slow. But this is where most people lose and where you must win. Because mastery is not built in moments of excitement. It is built in moments of repetition. Doing the same things with the same focus day after day until it becomes part of you. Until discipline is no longer something you try to do, but something you naturally are. This is the transformation. You are no longer someone who waits for the right moment. You become someone who creates it through action. And once discipline becomes your default, everything starts to align. Your habits strengthen, your focus sharpens, your results compound, and now you are no longer chasing change. You are becoming it. And when you become that person, when discipline is no longer forced but natural, life will test you in a different way. Not through comfort, not through routine, but through pressure. Pressure exposes everything. It reveals whether your control is real or temporary. It shows whether your discipline holds when the stakes are high, when the environment is unstable, when your emotions rise faster than your thoughts can manage. This is where most people lose themselves. Their breathing becomes shallow, their thoughts become scattered. Fear takes control, and in a single moment all their preparation disappears. Not because they are weak, but because they never trained their mind to stay steady under stress. You must be different, because true mental toughness is not proven when life is easy. It is proven when everything feels uncertain and you still remain focused. The first thing you must understand is that pressure is not your enemy. It is a signal. It is your mind reacting to something that matters, and instead of running from it, you must learn to face it with control. When you feel that surge of stress, pause, not for long. Just enough to become aware. Notice your thoughts. Notice how fast they move. Notice how your body reacts. This awareness creates distance, and in that distance, you regain power. Because if you are not aware, you react. And when you react, you lose control. But when you observe, you choose. Now your breathing becomes your anchor. Slow it down, deep and controlled. This is not just a physical action. It sends a message to your brain that you are safe, that you are in control. Your heart rate stabilizes, your focus returns. The chaos begins to settle. This is how you ground yourself in the middle of pressure. Then you simplify. Your mind will try to overwhelm you. It will throw multiple problems at once. It will make everything feel urgent and heavy. But you must narrow your focus. You do not need to solve everything at once. You only need the next step. Ask yourself, what is the next action I can take right now? Not the perfect action, not the complete plan, just the next move. This keeps you moving forward, and movement breaks fear. Because fear thrives in stillness. It grows when you hesitate, when you overthink, when you wait too long. But the moment you act, even in uncertainty, you weaken its hold. There is something deeper you must accept. You cannot eliminate fear, you cannot remove pressure, but you can train yourself to function within it. And that is where you gain an advantage that most people never reach. Because while others freeze, you move. While others panic, you focus. While others collapse under pressure, you become sharper. This is not talent. This is training. It comes from repeatedly putting yourself in challenging situations and refusing to break. It comes from choosing control when your emotions try to take over. And over time, something changes inside you. The same situations that once overwhelmed you begin to feel manageable. The intensity that once shook you starts to feel familiar. You become stable. You become clear. You become someone who does not get controlled by the moment, but controls the moment. And once you reach that level, pressure stops being something you fear. It becomes something you use. And when pressure becomes something you use instead of something you fear, you step into a level of control that most people never experience. But even that is not enough if you cannot sustain it. Because the final test is not intensity, it is consistency. Anyone can be strong for a moment. Anyone can push hard for a day. But very few can show up again and again, with the same focus, the same discipline, the same standard, no matter how they feel. This is where the toughest version of you is truly built. Not in a single breakthrough, but in daily repetition. The quiet days, the slow days, the days when nothing feels exciting and no one is watching. Those are the moments that shape you more than anything else. Because consistency is what turns actions into identity. Every time you follow through, you reinforce who you are becoming. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, you strengthen that identity. And over time, it stops feeling like effort. It starts feeling like who you are. This is the shift most people never reach. They rely on bursts of energy. They depend on feeling motivated. And when that fades, they stop. They start again later, repeating the same cycle, never building real momentum. But you are not here to repeat cycles. You are here to break them, and that requires patience. Because real growth is slow, it does not always show itself immediately. There will be days when you question if anything is changing. Days when progress feels invisible. Days when your effort feels like it is going nowhere, but something is happening. Your mind is adapting, your discipline is deepening, your tolerance for discomfort is expanding. Even when you cannot see it, you are evolving, and this is where most people quit. Not because they failed, but because they did not see results fast enough. They mistake silence for stagnation. They assume nothing is working, when in reality everything is being built beneath the surface. You must not make that mistake. You must trust the process, even when it tests your patience. Because consistency compounds. Small actions repeated daily create massive change over time. What feels insignificant today becomes unstoppable tomorrow. This is how you become unbreakable. Not by doing something extreme once, but by doing what is necessary every single day without exception. There is also a deeper truth you must accept. No one is coming to push you. No one will always be there to remind you, to motivate you, to keep you on track. At some point, it becomes your responsibility, and that is where real power begins. When you no longer depend on external energy, when you generate your own drive, when you hold yourself to a standard even when no one is watching, that is self-mastery. And once you reach that level, your life changes in a way that cannot be reversed. You become reliable, focused, disciplined. You stop starting over. You stop doubting yourself. You stop breaking your own promises. Instead, you build, day by day, action by action, decision by decision, until one day you look back and realize something powerful. You are no longer trying to become strong. You are strong, and nothing can take that away from you.